taking splinters out of your fat asses all night long because you got fat asses. The only chance you have no chance. If you had a chance, you need to run lickety split. You can't run because you're the fat asses. Well, Ric Flair, you know what? I'm not a normal looking athlete myself. You know what I'm talking about? I've been in the gyms alive. It's a privilege and an honor to walk out with Ole Anderson, Lex Luger, and the Omni tomorrow night.
I am not a happy camper. What is Bully Ray's motivation? You know I know he loves sugar. But I check my pocket. I don't have no donuts. I don't have no cheeseburger. I know you love sugar, but I ain't got none.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man. And I'm saying, woo, right here in Nashville, Tennessee, pal. I'm the man.
Booking a match for the total package Lex Luger and Super Brawl. Super Saturday? What is it? I don't even know what it's called. What is it called?
Super Brawl Saturday.
Super Brawl Saturday?
You don't lose faith in winners. And Ric Flair, day in and day out, every day of his life, just keeps winning and winning and winning.
Ric Flair! New York City, Ric Flair! You're gonna find out what hard is all about! I do exactly what I want to do. You say I'm insane, I say thank you very much!
Make a good lucha thing.
I hate God!
Hit the deck! Yes! We love you, Scott Steiner!
Today, woo, I've got the star and profile like never before. You guys talk about being students of the game. I am the game, JR.
All right, welcome back to Jersey Shore. Okay, I'm kidding. I swear I'm kidding. Don't leave. Okay. No, I'm just kidding, folks. Anyway, welcome. What is going on, everybody? Wednesday night. Welcome to Wrestling Outlet presented by DraftKings, right, Smark?
That's right.
Holy fuck! How many times did they fucking plug DraftKings tonight, dude?
Oh my God, DraftKings are like right up there with Liberty Mutual in terms of just like insufferable, endless bombardment of ads. I get them all the time on Spotify. It's terrible. I hate it.
It is, man. And they were just like totally killing it with those ads tonight for fucking. That's all I saw all night. That ad. Rah, rah, rah. And you know what sucks? I told you I watch poker a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Guess who the WPT is sponsored by?
Everything. Every sport you watch, they're there. My cousin plays like middle school baseball, and they're fucking sponsored by DraftKings.
Oh my God, dude. I mean, everything. And not only that, if you get pocket kings, if you get 2 kings in your hand, they give you $1,000 in your account. So it's like I hear their name all the time watching poker. Now I got to hear their name for this. It's like, oh my God, I can't get away from fucking DraftKings. So anyway, how's everyone doing? I'm Boxman. And of course, right across from me. There you go. Go ahead. Come on.
I was still supposed to be doing the intro. I'm a man that needs no introductions. I just kind of show up and then show out and then leave.
Mark Wahlberg. What is up, my man? What is up, brother?
Doing well. How are you?
I think I've recovered finally. I'm doing a little better, man. I think I finally recovered from last week. It took me a while, but I think I'm finally getting back to normal. After me and you did the show Sunday for the video games, I decided to start doing shots. Boy, did I go to work hungover on Monday. I'm such an idiot, dude. Oh, I gotta stop drinking. I'll never do this to myself again. Fucking next night. Oh, I need beer.
Well, of course.
I'm a glutton for punishment, obviously. Or I just have a bad problem. I don't know. Whatever you want.
I mean, they're manageable after a while.
I don't know. I mean, it tastes so good. Beer tastes good. I don't even.
That's how I knew that I really had a problem, because I didn't like the taste of it. I just like the effects of it.
See, I like the taste of beer. I love the taste of beer. I always have. Even my first beer, Milwaukee's Best was my first beer, and I like the taste. That's not good beer. That's not even good beer. That's barely beer. That's like nearly beer.
Slogan: Milwaukee's Best. We're barely beer.
We're near beer. Nah, I just always liked it, but yeah, man, I think I finally recovered. But you're all right. That's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah, I'm killing time pulling up the plugs.
Of course.
I forgot to get them pulled up, and I'm killing a little bit of time here, but I got them now. I do have them now. Obviously, folks, we were not here last week. We've got. Really, the same news from last week is the same news from this week. All the shows I listened to last week are still talking about the same thing this week. Jeff Hardy, Vince McMahon. Those are pretty much the two big stories. We'll get into both. We're not going to bore you with a lot of the details because you all know most of the details anyway. So we'll knock out plugs real quick, and then we'll get to that. That's probably a good plan. All right, give me a second. I'll get some music going for these plugs, and then we'll get the plugs out of the way. Of course, that means you guys better be listening to, that's right, it's the High Marks, it's the Mojo, the Cheese Man, the G Whiz, and you should already be listening right there on Mixler.com/Metal Podcast Network. If you are not, slap yourself silly. That's what you should do. Definitely be listening to them Sundays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It's the High Mark. Check them out on YouTube also. And, of course, you've got the Bobby Anthem on the Bobby Blades, the Inhumans on the Inhuman Experience. Definitely be checking them out on all the usual podcast platforms. And, of course, while you're doing that, check out Eric, Doug, and Daniel over there on the Everything Unscripted Wrestling Podcast. They can be found on all those platforms. Check them out on Blog Talk, EUP Network, right over there on Blog Talk. Check them out over there. You can listen to them. I believe you can listen to them live. I've only joined their show, so I'm not even sure what Blog Talk is like. So check them out. And of course, Stephen Milan reviewing movies on Letterboxd, BOXD.com/Stephen Milan, 2 L's in Milan. Definitely listen to, go over there and check out that website and see what he's reviewing over there. And I'll be back once again Saturday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Not sure if I'm doing a movie or another actor. I know next week I am going to do another Redux episode, get back on YouTube, possibly Twitch. Not sure. Might do it on Twitch. See what happens. So anyway, there you go. Smart, go for it.
You got it. Cheese on Sports returns in August. In the meantime, be sure to listen to the Mojo and Dirk show, the Mojo and Dirk's Most Dastardly show, as they like to be called. And last but never least, be sure to check out our friends at Planet Raconteur. It's the Planet Raconteur podcast with Bobby Anthem, Papa Dave Sincere, and Young Nasty. All 16 episodes of season 1 are available for you, but why stop there? If you subscribe now, they're throwing in season 2. I believe they're up to 10 episodes for free. How about that? You buy one, you get one, but you don't have to spend a dime. Can't beat that.
Love a BOGO. Love a BOGO. All right. That's it, right?
That's right.
That's it. All right. So there we go. Let me knock that out. Turn that down. All right, folks. That means we can get into the... Wow. I guess we'll get into the Jeff Hardy thing first. There's a lot, obviously, to unpack in this Jeff Hardy thing. As you all already know, Jeff Hardy last week was arrested for more than just drunk driving, more than just a DUI. He was also supposed to have an alcohol detection unit in his car, which means if he's been drinking, it won't start. He did not. He had a rental car of some sort. No one's sure who got him the rental car. And I believe his license was also suspended. So he was driving with a suspended license. Kind of kick off how it started here. Basically, Jeff Hardy was driving in a white Charger, Dodge Charger, and an officer tried to pull him over. Well, Jeff didn't exactly stop right away. There's TMZ has a whole video of all this if you'd like to go watch it. Once he was finally pulled over, the officer told Hardy that several people had called 911 to report him for erratic driving. Apparently, he was all over the road, swerving, slowing down, speeding up, swerving. Typical what you would see from most drunk drivers on the road, I would say. Yeah?
Definitely.
All right. The police officer asked him where he was coming from. He said North Carolina. Remember, he was in Florida, Volusia County. And the police officer asked him where he was going. And he said North Carolina.
I mean, to be fair, it is a state. It's a big state. There's all kinds of different parts of North Carolina.
True, and he is from North Carolina, so it makes sense he came from there and was going back. The officer asked, What?
I said, yep, it all checks out so far.
Yep, so far we're checking out. A little comical on the answer, but checks out. Officer asked Hardy if he'd been drinking because he could smell alcohol. Hardy said he had 1 or 2 drinks. The cop followed up, which you got to realize these cop tricks, guys, what they do, they're more than tricks. They're actually techniques that are trying to trip you up. They'll ask you the same question 2 or 3 times to see if you answer it the same all 3 times. If you do, that's a good sign. If you don't, that's a bad sign. First, he said he had 2 or 3 drinks. Then he said he had 1 or 2. Then he said he had only had a couple double shots of Fireball. That would be 4 drinks. So Jeff Hardy not keeping his answers straight. Now.
See, I'm of the mindset that if it can fit into 1 cup, it counts as a drink.
See, I'm with you, but it's not the way the law works.
The man's always trying to keep us down, but go ahead.
I know. I mean, listen, you can't fill a fucking, gallon jug with a beer and say you only had 1. It just doesn't work that way.
Got an entire fucking big gulp full of fucking Fireball.
I used to actually have a friend that when we did kegs would literally get a gallon of water, drink the water, and then go fill that bad boy up with beer and drink that boy, like 2 or 3 of them in a night. Mm-hmm. He was a big boy. He could put away some beers. But yeah, that's what he would do. So that's kind of why I said that. It's something I actually used to see a friend do. And you would ask him, and he'd say, "Oh, I had 2 beers." Well, you've had 2 gallons of beer, dude. I mean, come on. It's all right. We never let him drive home. He stayed at my house during those keg parties. But one of the things that obviously bothered people is the cops did pull guns on Jeff Hardy during this arrest when he was still in his car. Jeff Hardy reached into a backpack without letting officers know that he was reaching into a backpack. That's a no-no. Once you're pulled over and you got a cop on your left and a cop on your right, and especially if they're still to the side, they're looking for you to do something. Don't move. And if you're going to go in a backpack, tell them you're going in the backpack. Just say it. Hey, I'm going to go get my shit out of this backpack here. No shooting there was no shooting, and once the cop, and even the cop fist bumped him once he realized who the hell he was. They put their guns away. They got him out of the car. Everything was copacetic, Smark.
See, and I was seeing people freak out about that, but like you said, I am not one to necessarily defend the actions of law enforcement with a little bit more viewer speed, but motherfucker was drunk driving. Like, I don't care if they pulled the gun on him or not. Like you said, he was acting erratic. He was drunk driving. He was putting other people's lives at risk. So the fact that he found himself, potentially in a position where his life was at risk, don't really feel too sorry for him on that one. There was a lot of people freaking out, but I was like, yeah, that's kind of what happened. You act like an asshole.
And again, you reached for something. They don't know what's in that bag. You could have 4 guns in there. They don't know, especially when you say you're from out of state and you're in a car with Florida plates. I'm sorry, but some shit just don't look right here. You look like you could be fucking running drugs or something. Sorry. I mean, I'm not,
some, has the Jeff Hardy has.
His prior record will not help that. It's not really going to be a big help in that situation. When they did, though, get him out of the car finally, unharmed, no shooting, they tried to do a field sobriety test with Hardy, and he was pretty much not able to do much at all. Couldn't follow the officer's pen with his eyeballs without moving his head, couldn't maintain his balance, just not doing well. Now, I got to tell you, someone who probably is in as much pain as Jeff Hardy, the like walking and that part, I'll bet would be tough for him sober.
Yeah.
I really do. Now, the moving your eyeballs without moving your head sober would be a little easier. But some of the other stuff they do, the balance and stuff, I'll bet that would be hard for Jeff to do even sober. I bet many wrestlers, not just Jeff Hardy, but I'd say many guys who have beat their body up probably couldn't do that dead sober. So now the report said that Jeff Hardy had a blood alcohol content more than 3 times. It was actually 3.5 times the legal limit. Legal limit in Florida is 0.08. Depending on your weight, that's about a drink and a half, depending on your weight. It's really not a lot. If he had only had a couple shots of Fireball or even 1 or 2 double shots and waited maybe a couple hours, it wouldn't even be close to that. This sounds like he was drinking all night. Let's not forget, Smarky, this was at 9:30 in the morning.
Right.
When they pulled him over. Yeah, I mean, no. So, he was definitely pretty goddamn pretty fucking impaired. This is his 3rd driving impairment arrest in 5 years. Tony Khan did put out a statement saying that Hardy has been suspended without pay, cannot return to AEW until he has done alcohol treatment and maintained his sobriety, which has people thinking, Smark, he may never even return to the ring if he doesn't want to. He's pretty fucking beat up, man, and it seems like drinking is what takes away his pain more than anything. I mean, this isn't a case where he was, fucked up high. He was drunk. But it seems like alcohol is his vice and probably seems to be what takes away his pain more than anything. Wouldn't you say?
I mean, that's a fair assumption potentially, but it's not really so much the drinking that's a big deal. It's the fact that he repeatedly has been busted for driving while under the influence and public intoxication and just all manners of like illegal ways of consuming your alcohol. It's like, yeah, I mean, it is a bit of a problem if that's like what you need to do to get through. I've unfortunately kind of been there myself where I've had physical jobs that like I was like getting off work just kind of felt like shit every day. Yeah. And I was drinking, and like, yeah, I can tell you that's not the best way to go about things.
No, it's not. And I mean, I'm sitting here drinking right now, but I'm not going to drive. And this, dude, I mean, I get it. You're Jeff Hardy. I know that would have been an expensive Uber going to North Carolina, but Go stay at a hotel, dude. There couldn't have been anything waiting for him in North Carolina that was so important he had to drive. Number one, I don't know how the fuck he expected to make it from Florida to North Carolina, driving the way he was. Fucking Uber to a goddamn hotel for a motel for an hour, 2 hours. Get some fucking rest, then get up and fucking drive. I just don't get it. Uber, Lyft, call a fucking cab. I know you're Jeff Hardy. Oh, I don't want to deal with being recognized and they take a picture of me, all that shit. I get it. But you know what? I'd rather a picture of me passed out in a fucking car than on a hospital gurney, on a fucking, dead in a morgue, or God forbid, waking up and someone telling me I just took out a fucking family, a child, a fucking anyone. Can we please try to stop this catastrophe before he takes someone else's life? Please? Can we try one?
Right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the thing is like, I can understand why for any number of reasons, but like, kind of have like people aren't treating this the same way they're treating the Sunny situation, which I mean, to some extent, nobody died, so it's not as bad, but like, you can't condone, you can't, if drunk driving is bad, you're universal. You can't make exceptions based on how good somebody is in the ring or how, if you watch them growing up or not or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Like, you can't condone this kind of behavior, and at some point he has to actually be punished to a larger degree than he has been in the past, because so far it hasn't worked. Mm-hmm. So you got to do something.
Absolutely. I feel like he's been punished very, very little, if at all. And I mean, you say, oh, well, no one died. Yeah, I got 2 words for that, and it's not suck it. This time. No one died this time. How many times has he fucking gotten in the car? How many times does he think he can still go through rehab, maybe get all better again, relapse again, get into a fucking car, and maybe that time he's not so lucky? I don't know, man. I just... You know what? You want to go out, you want to have a fucking good time. I get it. Go out, go drink. There are so many ways now for you not to drive drunk. I mean, it's so many ways. I mean, look, it used to be you had a drink. People drove home drunk all the fucking time. It wasn't the biggest deal. There are accidents all over the place. No one fucking gave a shit. Now, people give a shit, and they should. They should. But there's so many fucking ways now to get home without driving. Dude, you can go on the GPS Waze and find a carpool to take you home. If someone's in your area, they will come pick you up. By the way, do you know in Florida, you can call the police if you're drunk and they will take you home free of charge, no questions asked? Do you know that in Florida?
I've heard about that for a couple of states, I think, do that. But yeah, I've heard some places do that.
Yeah. Yep. In Florida, that's all he had to do. I know. I know you're not thinking like that when you're drunk. I get it. I know. And you also, oh, fuck it, I can make it. I know. I get it. It's just so goddamn dangerous. And especially after what just happened with Sonny, you would think some people would have fucking been like, wow, man, I don't want that to be me. I hope I'm never in that situation. And then literally 3 weeks later, Jeff Hardy's, like I said, basically in the same situation. We're lucky no one fucking died. Seriously, the way he was driving, if several callers had to make that call, yeah, we're lucky. Very lucky. Luckily, he was going slow. He wasn't doing, 80 miles an hour all over the road. He was doing like half the speed limit. Another telltale drunk sign, folks. I'm doing 90. Dude, you're doing 20. Okay.
Tommy Boy special.
But anyway, Mark Raimondi, is that his name? Smark from ESPN?
Oh, Rinaldi.
No, it says Raimondi.
I'm pretty sure, but I could be wrong. But that's how I've heard it pronounced.
Raimondi.
Rinaldi.
All right, Mark here.
Yes.
Says was quoting old Mark was Mark R was quoting the Florida Highway Patrol arrest report. He said that the police described Hardy as in a stupor and confused. He was swerving, running off the roadway, blew a point. No, didn't blow, I'm sorry. They blood alcohol content, not the breath. The blood alcohol content was 0.294. The second sample was 0.291. And again, legal Florida limit is 0.08. God, he was hammered. Post Wrestling, which is John Pollock and Wei Ting over there, and a few other guys, also was quoting the report from, I love the cop's name, Zach Steiner. Is that not fitting? He was arrested by a Steiner. Yeah, I mean, he was arrested. What?
Said bringing him in for public obesity. So you know how fat you were walking?
I just had to mention that. Do you know if you had called an Uber, you had a 29% chance of making it home? If you had called a Lyft and an Uber, all right. Anyway, that could have been fun.
Your blood alcohol content multiplied by it's a disaster for you.
You blew a 0.024. Okay. Also quoting the police report, he had trouble putting the car in park. He actually started rolling away. He had trouble unlocking the doors. The police officer also stated, again, Mr. Officer Steiner, stated that he had been drinking and agreed to take a sobriety test. Folks, I'm going to give you a hint. If you get pulled over and you have been drinking, refuse the fucking test. Refuse the test. It's the smartest thing you can do. Refuse the test and call a fucking lawyer. I'm telling you now. If you've been drinking, shut the fuck up. Refuse the test, go to jail, and call a lawyer. I promise you, that's your best bet. Because that test is, they'll use it in court. He couldn't even balance. He couldn't do this. It's recorded in the front of their car. They know what they're doing. Don't take that test. I wouldn't fucking take it sober. I don't think I could do it sober. Fucking. So, anyway, like I said, he was just it's just awful, man. I just don't understand. Like I said, after this whole Sunny thing, you'd figure a few people would have just woken the fuck up, and just kind of been like, I never want to be in that position, but here we are. It just, people never learn, but, I mean, obviously Hardy was let out. Jeff Hardy was let out already. Pretty low bond, because it was just a DUI, which luckily it was just a DUI. But I don't know how long he's going to be gone for, but that sounds like a while. I mean, he'll have to do a minimum of 30 days in an alcohol treatment. And then what timeline was Tony Khan thinking for staying sober? We don't know. Tony Khan didn't give a timeline. He just said, so basically hinted that he had to be sober for a while, continued sober. Didn't give a timeline. That could be a year. That could be 2 years. And then who's to say Jeff even wants to come back after that?
Right.
I mean, hell, it could be 6 months. I don't know. It could be 3 months. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows?
I mean, he's only under contract for so long. So, I mean, there's obviously a limit to it at some point.
You're right. There is. And I mean, maybe they could slowly bring him back to do a few things, a few little signings and things like that. But I don't know, man. It to me, it seems like the guy enjoys drinking and doesn't know boundaries very, very well. I believe there's a video of him like screaming and taking shots of whiskey, Fireball. I don't know, man. Look, like I said, man, I get it. You should be able to go out and drink and have a fucking great time. But get home safe, man. Don't put people's lives in fucking danger. It's not worth it. It's not fucking worth it. Especially knowing that you've already had this done to you a couple of times. You know this. And you know, he's lucky it wasn't all three in Florida. For a while there, Florida had that 3-strike rule about DUIs. They would take your license and put you in jail on the third one. That's it. You're done. And you don't get your license back anymore. You have to fight. You have to spend thousands to fight for your license back. So,
Kind of is universal, honestly, but that's a whole other story for another time.
yeah, what'd you say? You think it what?
I said I kind of wish that was universal, but you know, it's a story for another time. But if you've gotten not only have you, if you've gotten 3 DUIs, you've drank and drove more than 3 times. Like, let's just be honest about the situation.
Oh yeah. I mean, you could have done it 100 fucking times, and it's just, I don't know, man. And I mean, I just find it amazing that still in 2022, and we have all these fucking car services and all these ways to drink. And, you know, he was at a place with people that someone had to be sober enough to drive home. If someone wasn't, fucking pass out on the goddamn floor, man. What the fuck? It's just shocking, dude. It's just shocking that people just can't fucking stay away from a car when they've been drinking.
Sober enough to drive home, or at the very least sober enough to realize that he is in the state that he is in, and just be like, we can't let you take another hit like this. This is not a good move. Because, I mean, there's been plenty of times where I've been nicely shit-faced, but I've been able to recognize when other people are shit-faced and to, you know, try to look out for them too.
Yeah. Good. That's a good thing, Smark. That's not a bad thing. But I don't know, man. I mean, we can sit here and pick it apart. We weren't, I mean, obviously, you know, we weren't there. We didn't see what was going on. But I just really, I mean, I hope Jeff gets his shit straightened out, man. I really does. I mean, I really do. I just really fucking want him to get his shit together. And, dude, they were just about to have a huge push in AEW. He didn't just fuck it up for himself. He fucked it up for his brother. Although I do think we might get broken Matt Hardy quicker than we were expected now because of this.
Yes.
Because he's been hinting to it for a while, and I kind of think after the whole Jeff Hardy run, you know, the Hardy Boys back together, I think he might have been planning on doing the broken gimmick again. So we may get the broken gimmick back quicker than expected. That's my guess.
I would say vaguely in relation to that, Ruby put out a video addressing people that were calling her and Matt enablers, and I have not seen that much neck moving the entire duration of D'Lo Brown's career.
I wouldn't fuck with her.
I love her. She is fucking fierce. She goes after motherfuckers, man.
Well, and let me just put it to you this way. I don't know if anyone knows this. Jeff Hardy is a grown fucking adult. He's going to do whatever he wants to do, whether someone's enabling him or not. He's not broke. He can get where he needs to go. He's not fucking disabled. He's got money. He can do what he wants when he wants. I don't give a fuck if they say no, you don't think he's got 20 other fucking people that could help him? Yeah, okay. Please, let's stop blaming everyone else and let's just put the blame where it is. Jeff Hardy got in the vehicle. Jeff Hardy drank. Jeff Hardy drank and decided to try to drive the vehicle. Matt Hardy wasn't there. Matt Hardy had nothing to do with it. Rebe has nothing to do with it. She's home watching children like she should be being a mother. Okay, sorry.
That's right. I agree, Box. They should be barefoot in the kitchen.
No, she's lucky. She's lucky enough not to have to work, have Matt have enough money to on a gorgeous property and be able to do what she does, stay home and take care of those kids. Is what I was saying.
Oh, okay.
Don't put words in my mouth, you motherfucker.
Well, I mean, subtext to everything. But anyways, let's move on.
Boy, that bus is coming again this week, isn't it? Okay.
Indeed.
All right. Yeah, I wouldn't. I wouldn't fuck with
More
Rebe, man. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't either.
Oh man. Anyway, I think we pretty much beat that to death. Again, I just hope Jeff. really wakes the fuck up and realize what could have happened, what could have been, and hopefully he'll fucking smarten up, man. And hopefully this is the last time we have to talk about this and hear this story, and even address these problems with Jeff Hardy, unless it's a good note and good news. That's the last time and the only time I ever want to address it again. Hopefully. And on that note, I guess we move on to, oh boy, is there a lot to unpack in this Vince McMahon story, everybody. Oh boy. Not only is there a lot to talk about, but there's one thing that I'm not sure people caught that also implicates someone else, and no one's even, I haven't heard anyone bring this up, and I caught this in the Wall Street Journal report when I read the report. And we'll get to it in a minute. But Vince McMahon, obviously this whole story came out with Vince about and I'm going to use the old air quotes affair, because there's a lot of rumors going around that him and Linda haven't been together in a couple of years anyway. So I don't know. And according to the girl, this was all consensual. You okay?
Yes.
Are you gagging?
Well, I was adding some foliage to what may or may not have happened during this incident.
Yeah. So Vince was accused of an affair, and with a girl who worked for the company, and which really in itself isn't the biggest deal. But there's a few problems with that when you are a CEO of a billion-dollar publicly traded company. That's a no-no if it's not disclosed. And if you get caught and that's part of your deal, then there could be a lot of problems. Vince, in what I believe is a completely on-paper PR move, Smark, let me know if you agree, Vince stepped down as CEO the other last week, and right away Stephanie, who they just trashed on her way out the door as being basically, I'm just going to paraphrase, incapable of doing her job in marketing, but they moved her right into that CEO position pretty quick.
Oh my God, they're the most disingenuous motherfuckers in the world, like history of the universe. Because what happens is, like, this all comes out with Vince, and it's like, all right, we need to do some PR shuffling. Let's see. Let's never mind the fact that we just like dedicated an entire article to talking about how incompetent she is. We'll put Stephanie on. We'll say we believe in female empowerment, and everyone will love us again.
There you go. Absolutely. I mean, Stephanie even said, I have pledged my complete cooperation to the investigation by the special committee, and I will do everything possible to support the investigation. I have also pledged to accept the findings and outcome of the investigation, whatever they are. But of course, which,
by the way, doing internally. So it's people that are within their company that are doing this investigation. So I feel like everything should be above board and it all should go well. Justice should be served.
Well, it's the board, which would probably hire a private investigation company to start with, and then they would go from there. Now, don't fret, folks. He's still in charge of creative, which I kind of wish he would stayed on as CEO and gotten out of creative. I think a lot of people do. You might get some people back watching the show. And now, again, the affair isn't the main problem. One of the main problems is, number one, she was hired at a $100,000 salary, and after the alleged relationship started, she was immediately bumped up to $200,000. Now, the Wall Street Journal report also says that Vince allegedly gave her to John Laurinaitis. And now this is the part that I'm not sure anybody caught. She also claims Vince didn't give her money. John Laurinaitis didn't give her money. McDevitt, the fucking lawyer, is the one that actually did this deal and paid her the $3 million to keep quiet. So the $3 million is actually the hush money. Is my whole problem with this. I don't give a shit about the fucking raise. He banged the chick. He gave her a raise. Whatever. You can justify that on paper. The fact that this scumbag lawyer is brokering $1 million deals to keep this chick quiet is what bothers me. What about you?
It's, it's a lot. Like, the company has a lot of people who are accused of getting to the places where they've gotten to, current employees, former employees, because of things like this. And now here we are that perhaps there's some validity to some of those accusations. It's just like, I don't know, the whole situation is a lot to take in. I will say I'm glad that we did not do a show Wednesday because I would have been wrong on a lot of things, because I was actually very optimistic Thursday and Friday, especially when I heard that Vince had stepped down. I was like, oh man, like this company might actually become better, might become more watchable. They might switch to somebody who knows what they're doing. And then next thing I know, it's like, oh, okay, well, Vince stepped down, but Mr. Smithers is in charge. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah, like not shit has changed at all.
Nope.
In terms of like what being a bigger deal, the hush money or like the affair, like they're both pretty fucking terrible.
Well, the affair is a big deal because of WWE's code of business conduct. This was actually part of a Sports Illustrated article. This part right here. The example, Forbes article, excuse me. This is what the WWE's business code of conduct says. An example of a prohibited activity is the grant or offer of employment, quid pro quo, for personal intimacy. Obviously, I believe after the whole Trump thing, we all know what quid pro quo means, right? Something for something. Right. Pay to play, something for something. The company guidelines also state that any waiver for the code for an executive may be only the audit committee and must be properly disclosed to stockholders. Okay, so that's part of it. Now, there's another part of this, though, that even stacks on top of all this. That's not just the affair, not just the hush money, not just this fucking scumbag lawyer brokering fucking hush deals. The fact that hours before this story broke last Wednesday, tons of stock suddenly started trading. I mean, billions of dollars, 2.1 million shares suddenly changed hands on the stock exchange Wednesday, right before this story came out. An analyst at Morgan Stanley actually is the one that kind of said that a few things could be affecting the jump, but the coincidence of jumping, that many trades is staggering and could indicate something called insider trading. Martha Stewart's waving at you right now, Vince. That's a federal crime. It doesn't take a fucking rocket scientist to think that someone tipped off the stockholders that a pretty shitty story was coming out and they might want to dump a little bit of their stock, but not all of it. Again, I know nothing about the stock market, but I know when something smells fishy. I think you do too, Smark.
Indeed, yes.
I think this smells pretty fishy. I don't know if this is going to go anywhere, any of these. And again, these are all just investigations right now. The affair wasn't illegal. There's nothing illegal about an affair, especially if he's separated from his wife. Nothing he's done is illegal unless the insider trading is true. Everything else is just kind of scummy, which Whoa, Vince McMahon's a scumbag. Jeez, fucking, hey, look, water's wet, sky is blue. We knew this. But the guy is not only not laying low, he was on SmackDown, he was on Raw. They're saying he's awfully jovial backstage, like none of this is even happening. Basically, he's telling everyone, fuck you, I'm Teflon. He's the Teflon Don, he's Teflon Vince. I kind of love the guy for it, and I kind of hate the guy for it. I don't know which to do. I'm very on the fence, Mark. Help me. Help me.
Well, I mean, I can't because I'm in the same boat. I hate the guy in the sense of ability for things that he does, of which he's done many, and he pretty much lands on his feet no matter what. Like, very little of consequence has ever actually happened to him. And nobody like very often, like a lot of these stories and shit, like just end up kind of getting buried. Like companies, like actual media outlets don't often talk about these things. So I'm a little bit, to put you into where I was when I first saw this come out. When I saw that the bottom of the article I was reading was signed WSJ, I was like, what fucking dirt sheet is that? And it's like, no, it's the Wall Street Journal. And I was like, oh, shit's about to get real.
Oh, yeah.
I was surprised at that. But anyways, to get back to the point, I'm sad that nothing ever actually happens to him and he never gets held accountable for any of like numerous shitty things he's done. Like, depending on what you believe, also includes like covering up a murder by telling somebody that the cops, this guy doesn't speak English and it's Evan. Like that. But yes. Then on the other hand, like as somebody who enjoys fucking with people from time to time, I do kind of appreciate Vince just basically saying, look, you're not going to do shit to me. Nobody's going to do shit to me. You can't touch me.
Well, I mean, I kind of like the fuck you attitude, but I mean, if anyone expected him to go out on either show and be like, well, I'm going to address these circumstances, the fuck you are. Old fucking scummy McDevitt here would have had to fucking do some more deals with the fucking TV stations to get that scrubbed. Put a few more millions.
Yeah, I think maybe what people expected was that he was just going to announce that he was like leaving for a little while. Maybe, be very vague about that.
I didn't fucking
But like
think
it is,
that.
so it's like vaguely funny and like the I can't believe how ballsy you are that they're using this as a ratings plug.
Oh, of course.
People are like, tune into SmackDown to see what Vince has to say, and it's like, oh my god, you guys are fucking terrible. You are an awful company. You are objectively villains. Like, you guys are fucking awful people, and it's funny, but it's funny because it's just like hilariously wrong. Everything that they do.
It is. Of course it is. And that's not even I still haven't gotten to the worst part yet. When they started doing this little investigation, they found more of these non-disclosure agreements. How much money is attached to those? How many times has this fucking lawyer brokered these goddamn hush money deals that we know of? How many? We don't know.
Right. Yeah. How often has this happened that's gone undocumented?
Yeah, and now John, I think people thought maybe Laurinaitis might actually skate through this, but he did not. He has been not released. He's been placed on administrative leave. That means paid. And Bruce,
Purpose or not,
what was that?
John Laurinaitis skate through it.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was tricky, wasn't it?
Taking out the skateboard and just rolling on through.
That was unintentionally tricky of me. I didn't even catch that. Thank you, Smark. That was complete. That was accidental completely. And guess who's filling in as head of talent relations since John Laurinaitis was brought back after Mark Carrano was fired after the whole trash bag Mickey James thing, and after he fell on his sword for that, Bruce Pritchard has taken over at that part. This guy. You want to talk about a fucking... I'm sorry. This guy's a leech. I like him, but by all accounts that I've heard, and again, don't know him, but from all accounts that I've ever heard of this guy, he's one of Vince's loyal yes men. So I just kind of feel the guy's sort of a leech. But I read today that Triple H held a meeting at NXT and basically told them, "I'm back," and that was pretty much all he had said. So I don't know what's going on with that. They're going to have more on that. We'll keep our eyes open for more on that. But I mean, this story just goes from bad to worse. And if you sit there and look at Vince, holy shit, you don't even know what's going on. It's like he's happy. I'll tell you what, Vince has said before, I believe it was on Bob Costas, that one interview, when he said he loves a good fight. I got a feeling this is reinvigorating him, this little fight he has going, which some of these accusations, especially the insider trading, could put him in fucking jail. Jail. This man could die in jail.
I mean, it sort of goes back to the Jeff Hardy thing, though. Is like, if he doesn't think he has a problem, then he's not going to get help. If Vince has never gotten in trouble, he doesn't think he's going to get in trouble. Like, he's dodged these bullets, maybe not this exact bullet, but bullets like these before, and he probably doesn't think that he's in any real danger of it happening again, of him getting in trouble, because he hasn't gotten in trouble before. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Well, I'm not even done.
Yeah, it keeps going.
I am not even done. After all that news broke, after all that shit went down, another law firm announced that it is investigating WWE on behalf of investors, looking into whether or not WWE violated securities laws. As of today, there's 4 other law firms that have begun, this makes 5, that have begun similar investigations. None of them have gone far enough to be classified as class action, which means they're in the preliminary stages. But some of the investigations are going and asking investors, kind of what has influenced the stock for them. And they're saying that some of the things that WWE has basically mismanaged the company or neglected some of their financial duties, and that could be considered harmful to the shareholders. So did I just lose Smark? So basically, some of these people may have heard of a few of these things already. And what they're saying is, after all these hush money payments, maybe my money isn't being spent very well. Now, supposedly these hush money payments were all straight out of Vince's money. But were they all? We don't know. We have no clue. There's a lot of investigations right now into Vince. I got to be honest with you guys. I really feel, let me just get, now according to Business Wire, a law firm in California is asking investors that have accrued losses of $100,000 or more to contact them. They are going to investigate these claims on behalf of the investors for violations of, once again, security laws, as I had said. Now, the investigation is by a company called the Shaw Law Firm, and it's basically looking into whether WWE issued false or misleading statements or failed to disclose important information to investors. I don't see him skating on everything. They've got to at least slap him on the fucking wrist for something. Maybe not the securities things. Maybe not this. Maybe not. Something has to stick. I don't know, man. I mean, as far as if none of these stick, this guy is more Teflon than fucking John Gotti, which I wouldn't fucking surprise me if this guy was. He's got more money than Gotti. But I mean, That's why I said Teflon Don. That's what they called John Gotti, was the Teflon Don at the time. They did all these things. The guy beat him for a fucking RICO case, which is damn near unheard of. And, he was still, they never could touch him. But I always found, everyone was finding that weird. Now, looks like I actually lost internet connection. So I don't even know if you guys are hearing me right now. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a quick break, and we'll see how long my internet takes to come back. So give me a minute, and I'll be back as soon as possible. Thanks, guys. Hold on.
Six guns sound.
All right, folks. Sorry about that. My internet went out, but I got Smark back. We're all set to go. Now, Smark, I don't know the last thing you heard that I had said, but
You
go ahead.
said things. You were talking about the stockholders were looking to sort of investigate to see if there's any wrongdoing. There was another investigation on top of a couple of other investigations.
On top of a couple. Now, I don't think you heard this part. Basically, what they're doing is they're looking to see whether WWE has issued false or misleading statements, or failed to disclose information pertinent to investors. Now, I don't know if they're talking about stuff they do in, air quotes once again, kayfabe terms, or if they're literally about talking, or if they're talking about maybe things like this, that I'm thinking this was something that's been known back for the investors for a while. Maybe the board knew about this. But, I mean, with all these investigations, Mark, and this is what I was saying right before I realized I was not online, and I don't know how much, chat room, I completely apologize if I'm repeating myself, and downloaders, if I'm repeating myself, I apologize. But with all these investigations, I really don't feel that one of them isn't going to stick even a little. They've got to slap him on the wrist with something on one of these investigations. He can't come out clean. I was actually comparing him to John Gotti, who they call the Teflon Don, which is why I said that earlier. I mean, they couldn't do shit to get Gotti. They even tried a RICO case, and he beat it, which, yeah, unheard of to beat a RICO case. But I just don't see, with all these investigations, nothing turning up. If this man comes out completely unscathed from all these investigations, I will be fucking shocked. I'm not going to put anything on it. I'm not going to bet anything because it's Vince McMahon and he's got billions of dollars. I'll be shocked, though. That I will be. Go ahead.
I mean, I don't know, shocked. I mean, you don't think that he's going to be able to get away with all of this. But again, we've been in situations before where it's like, oh, he's gonna pay for this one. They got him dead to rights, and then he just sort of slides on out of there. I mean, Devitt makes his money for a reason.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's got to keep Devitt on. He's got fucking, backdoor fucking hush money deals to fucking, put out there. I mean, look, I get the lawyers should be there when they're doing something like that. So it's all, all the NDAs are signed and all that stuff. But boy, how many of these has this fucking slimeball? And again, by the way, a lawyer being a slimeball is no fucking surprise to me. But how many of these has he fucking sat through? 10, 20, 30? How many employees have gone through this? Listen, I mean, this company has been accused of a lot more than just little, affairs going on. People have said they've been sexually assaulted by people in the company, out of the company, during. I mean, go back to Ashley Massaro. I think she said she was on one of the overseas ones and she was raped by a guard or a soldier or something. I can't remember, but, this company's been accused of some shitty things. Somehow they skate through. Some people remember, and you see those people on the internet, oh, well, I'll never deal with them because of this, that. I mean, how many ring boys said that Pat Patterson was grabbing them and touching them and doing shit?
Right. That was the one that kind of came to my mind first. It was like there's been a long history of this in various different ways. Like you said, the Ashley Massaro thing, the Pat Patterson thing. There's been all kinds of allegations of inappropriate behavior lobbied against them. And like so far managed to get away with these kind of things, but who knows, how long they can keep going for.
Well, out of all that shit going on, at least one thing, Smark, that Vince doesn't have to worry about. It's that old Oliver Luck XFL lawsuit he had to go through. Do you remember this?
Vaguely, yeah.
We talked briefly about it. It was something we kind of glanced over because it was right around the time The Rock was picking it up. So we were talking about it anyway, and I think we just added it to a story. So basically, with all this going on, one less thing Vince has to worry about is there was a lawsuit that Oliver Luck, who was one of the coaches, had filed against XFL. And I'm sorry, actually, he was the XFL commissioner, Oliver Luck, excuse me. And he basically said that compensation wasn't paid to him, and it wasn't his fault that a pandemic hit and the company shut down. Well, we don't know if the judge agreed or not because both parties did agree for the outcome and everything else to be sealed on this. So, but PW Insider and WrestleNomics' Brandon Thurston has confirmed that the lawsuit between the two has been settled. The parties amicably, resolved the matter. That's what Thurston wrote, and wished each other well in the future endeavors. Oh, you motherfuckers! I could literally see McDevitt saying, "Oh, we wish you well in your future endeavors." You fucking prick. Of course, Vince countered the lawsuit. He said he fired the guy for cause. Yeah, the cause was a fucking pandemic. So I don't know. I'm glad at least one thing is off Vince's plate, I guess. But the motion to seal it all was done, so we don't know what the deal was. We don't know who won, who lost. It could have been, who knows. Meanwhile, it's over, and that's one less thing, at least, Vince can worry about, Smart.
Well, there you go.
All right, now real quick, since we're kind of mentioned her and been talking about it, and we've talked much about, drunk driving and all this shit tonight, Tammy Sitch, the little case she has going on, not little case, excuse me for that, I'm sorry, a life was taken, I did not mean to put it that way, I'm sorry. Her lawyer, Stephen De La Roche, filed a motion to be withdrawn from representing Sonny in her case. So far, there's been no resolution. There is supposed to be something coming up June 30th at 9 a.m. to see if he can. Basically, he's saying that they are at an impasse on what they want to do as her representation on how to handle her case. I don't know how you take that, Smark. Let me say what I think, and obviously I'd like your opinion. To me, this sounds like he wants her to make a deal, and she is completely against making any sort of deal. That's my feeling on this. I think he wants her to take a deal, go to jail for maybe 5-6 years, which is probably what she would end up doing if she got a 10-year stint. I think he wants her to take a fucking deal and be done with it. And I think she is saying no. That's my opinion. I could be completely fucking wrong. But when you say legal representation wants to quit due to an impasse between him and Sitch regarding how to handle her case. Well, there's another reason, as well as Sitch not complying with the terms of an employment agreement between her and De La Rose, which I don't know what that is. So I don't know. I don't know, but this to me seems like he wants to make a dealy deal, a little plea bargain, and she is saying no deal. I think I can get away with this, and there's obviously something else, but I don't know, Smark. What by that sentence, what would you think of that as? What's the first thing that hits your mind?
I mean, I would tend to agree with you. Like, I guess he's like trying to like, look, we got to come up with the best case scenario here. Like, you got to be in trouble. You killed the guy.
Yeah.
And she's kind of like, no, I didn't. He had a fucking stroke. And it's like, sure, whatever. You're like, what you choose to believe and what's actually going to happen are two entirely different things.
Right.
I'm trying to tell you right now, the ship is sinking. It's best just try to start to find a life preserver. And she's trying to go down with. I mean, it's never a good sign if your lawyer is like on the verge of quitting. Like, that speaks a lot to your potential innocence or lack thereof. I will say that much.
Dude, you've got to be fucking up pretty bad if your lawyer wants to quit. Do you see what a process it is to go through quitting a case once you're in the middle of it without being disbarred?
It kind of reminds me of like that scene in the Devil's Advocate where he's like in the bathroom and he's like starting to work on his defense, like what he's going to say out there. Like, I could just imagine the lawyer just like going in the bathroom, looking in the mirror and just like giving out a long, exhausted sigh, just throwing his hands in the air.
At this point now, I just want his lawyer to go out there and go, look, but don't touch. Touch, but don't feel. God, it's a good fucking scene. We've played it before, obviously, as one of the greatest scenes. Anyway, this Sunny thing is becoming a more of a debacle. And I guess we'll have to see what happens. When your lawyer that has defended you on some pretty bad shit wants off this case, and let's be honest here, I have a feeling, money is probably not the biggest deal with Sunny. I'm sure she has more than she says, and I don't know, but I don't think money is a problem. I really feel that it's pretty much she doesn't want to take a deal, but I guess we'll just have to keep an eye on that case and update you as we get it. So, all right, Smark, let's kind of liven this show up a little bit with something a little more lighthearted. You'll see why I said that. So, there's been a little controversy, Smark, with the old IWC. Oh, that's right. The old internet wrestling community. People have been body shaming Adam Cole, pretty much mainly Adam Cole and Eddie Kingston.
I haven't seen too much of the Eddie Kingston thing, but it seems like people are just relentlessly making fun of Adam Cole for being short, which is like really sort of ironic because a lot of the people that are making fun of Adam Cole for being short have their own shortcomings, shall we say.
Well, and I also see the people that are making fun of fucking Eddie Kingston look like Jabba the fucking Hutt.
That is one of the more ironic things, is not at the time, but like when they were on the independent scene together, like Chris, I don't know why I made him Spanish, Chris Hero and Eddie Kingston, like they were at each other's throats all the time. And like, I think that was part of what Hero was taking umbrage with, was that Kingston was kind of not in the best shape and like kind of unprofessional. And now like they've sort of done a switch where like Kingston's not necessarily skinny, but compared to Chris Hero,
he's kind of a bodybuilder. So, okay, here's my thing. Cole, not everyone can get the jacked, ripped body. You can work out all you want, and some people are just not going to get it. It's just not going to happen. I'm sorry. Dude, I'm telling you right now, CM Punk could work out until the fucking day he dies. He's never going to be a jacked dude. He's never going to fucking be it. He'll either be ripped. He might be ripped, but he'll never be the jacked guy. He's always going to be, as Triple H called him, kind of that skinny fat guy. It's the way his body is built. not everyone has the genetics to be a fucking bodybuilder. A fucking, it's not the way it works. Unless he starts doing, fucking Booker T was that, man, you need to put some weight on that, man. What do you want him to do? Go out there and fucking do steroids? Is that what you want? Is that what he should do? No. I have no problem with it. Yeah, he's short. I don't give a fuck if he's short. The guy goes out there and has good matches. I don't care what he looks like. And as far as Eddie Kingston looks like a true fucking New Yorker, which guess what? That's his character. I'm sorry. But when people make fun of fucking New Yorkers on a television show or something, are they not usually just a fucking heavy guy that looks just like Eddie Kingston in a tracksuit? Pretty much. Thank you. Eddie Kingston is his character. I don't need to see Eddie Kingston as fucking as some Triple H wannabe jack dude. Fuck that. See, even Dirk says Eddie Kingston is fine. Eddie Kingston is New York. That is what I'm trying to fucking say. Okay. Go ahead, Smark.
Well, I will say, first off, to your point, yes, Eddie Kingston looks like a composite sketch of just like any New Yorker that you might, anytime you just like construction worker.
Yes.
Like, he for sure, and he's even said in his interviews before that like that's what he was going to do if he were to quit wrestling. So it's like, yeah, of course you would. You'd be a construction worker. Anyways, to that point, like there is always people like that in wrestling. It's a good thing by and large, because like you need people. Sure, it doesn't hurt to have people that are fucking ripped and tall and jacked, and you're looking like the fucking Ultimate Warrior or whatever. But you also need your everyman.
Right.
Like, you need people who the audience can look at and say that they identify with, or that they could, it could be them. And that's kind of people that often, get people to rally behind them. Dusty Rhodes was one of those people. Mick Foley was one of those people. There's people like this, and there's always been people like this in wrestling, and that's just what happens. Diversity is important in that regard. It's like you need people of all kind of looks and builds and walks and, that kind of, different cultures and all kinds of things like that, because you're trying to attract a wide audience. You're not trying to attract a specific demographic of people. You want as many people as possible.
Yeah, and I think Dusty Rhodes might actually be one of the best, comparisons that you just said. Dusty Rhodes wasn't a fucking bodybuilder. Dusty Rhodes was a big fat dude, but was more entertaining than anyone could even put out there. And Eddie, like Dirk says, Eddie Kingston is scarier without being ripped. I agree. Listen, why isn't anyone going out there making fun of Otis?
Right.
Dawkins. Dawkins isn't a fucking bodybuilder. He looks like fucking what's his name, Anthony Anderson. Like I've said before,
the best heavyweight fighters of all time in terms of mixed martial arts is Fedor Emelianenko. I challenge anyone who doesn't know what he looks like to Google Fedor Emelianenko. He looks like any sort of Russian tourist that you would meet at any sort of vacation destination. He has he's kind of short, kind of chubby. He's got a bit of a dad bod situation going on. And he could fucking put a bear in an armbar if he wanted to. Like, he's a bad motherfucker. Just because you're tall or jacked or whatever doesn't mean you can fight. Like, there's people who look the part and can play the part, and there's people who are short and kind of skinny that would absolutely murder you.
Yeah, you're right. And Dirk says you remember people making fun of Otis. They made fun of Otis when he shaved his beard. That's what they made fun of Otis for. He shaved his beard. But I don't know, man. I've got no problem with either one of them. Yeah, I just feel like not everyone is going to be fucking, Chad Gable and Triple H and all those guys. And not everyone wants to put fucking HGH, testosterone, and chemicals in their body to be ripped and jacked. And I'm sorry. I think Adam Cole's in better shape than a lot of people out there commenting on Adam Cole. And I think Eddie Kingston's in better shape than a lot of people that are commenting on Eddie Kingston, too. So I don't know, man. It's just funny what people start focusing on. I mean, really, it's a lot of Adam Cole stuff mainly. And like Dirk says, to be fair, folks, the people respond to Adam Cole. Of course, they're not wrestlers because, well, besides Booker T, got to put some weight on that guy. He used to look like Randy Orton. That's what he used to look like, Randy Orton.
Yeah, he's doing well, by the way.
No, he's not. Booker T or Randy Orton? Wait a minute. What are we talking about here? Cole is short. I don't care if Cole is short. Guess who else is short? Daniel Bryan. I'm talking to Dirk. I'm sorry. Daniel Bryan is short. Anyone got a problem with that? Chad Gable is short. I don't see anyone bitching about that. Shorty G. Remember Shorty G? Huh? There's a lot of... AJ Styles is short. And awesome. I don't care I'm sorry, man. It's not the biggest deal anymore. I don't need a 6'4" jack dude anymore. It's not the same anymore. I'm sorry. Everything's changed. No one gives a shit anymore if you're fucking short, if you're fucking fat. Entertain me. Plain and simple. Just entertain me. Dusty entertained us. He was a fat dude. Fucking Hornswoggle used to entertain me. I like Hornswoggle. He's short. Very.
Yes, a bit.
All right, that might have been a bad one. All right. Aren't I allowed one bad one a night?
Yeah, well, I think we all should be.
All right. Anyway, I think a lot of these people that are commenting on these wrestlers' body probably should pick up a fucking mirror without it breaking and take a look in it. Fucking Jabba the Hutt out there. All right, at least Dirk liked my Hornswoggle comment.
It was
Rey Mysterio's short. Yeah, he is too. Rey Mysterio, we know that. So, all right. I think we can move on. All right, Smark. I got a couple quick little trademark things, and then we can get into AEW. I mean, honestly, as we said before the show, most of the news was just left over from last week. It really was. It was just news left over from last week that people are still talking about. And as far as the Vince thing, things are just still coming out about it. So, as I'm a curious type of guy, I decided to jump on the old trademark websites today. Got a couple for WWE and one for AEW that they've trademarked to be looking out for. Now, I don't know if WWE's done anything with this one, Smark, but looks like we're going to have a new television show called WWE The SmackDown Lowdown. You like it?
Are they bringing back D'Lo Brown and the headbanger whose name I don't remember?
Oh my God, D'Lo Brown's Lowdown would be the shit.
Oh, I have. Well, boy, oh boy, do I have some good news for you. I actually watched Slammiversary because I have that kind of time. And there was all kinds of different cameos and whatnot. You had Sting on there, you had Kurt Angle. You even had AJ Styles, which was surprising, but he profusely thanked WWE for allowing him to talk. During the speech, he said that he would like to thank WWE for allowing him to record this message, which is man, oh man, are you a company man? Anyways, appearances during this, it was this big 4-man or 10-man match, I think it was. There's this big clusterfuck. Anyways, D'Lo Brown ran in full aces and eights regalia and helped sway the turn of the tide for the good guys. So there was a D'Lo Brown cameo on Slammiversary this weekend, and it was.
I love it. I did hear a little bit about Slammiversary. I didn't hear much. I was actually, on the way home, I was listening to something. You know what? I was listening to something, then I stopped to listen to something else because what I started listening to was Moxley's book. For those who don't know, you can jump on Audible and get Moxley's book. Now, this may sound weird, but I'm going to actually plug another podcast here. If you want Moxley's book on Audible for free, and you go to audibletrial.com/Solomonster, and you sign up for the trial, you can get that book because it'll give you 1 credit for free, and you can get that book. I started listening to it. Moxley does narrate the book. He does talk the book. I would 100% recommend this book. 100%. It is... I'm not spoiling shit because you should listen to the book, but I'm going to tell you right now, Moxley reading this book makes it worth it, and I'll just say that. You need to get this book. So I'm going to go, I get nothing from mentioning this. I get nothing. I don't even, he'll probably never even hear that I mentioned it, but audibletrial.com/Solomonster if you want that book. I didn't get it that way. I actually still had credits from when my wife bought me credits 2 years ago, but that is a great book. And I'm about an hour and 12 minutes into it. And, but I was listening to a review of Slammiversary, and I'm like, ooh, I forgot I downloaded that book at work. And I started listening to Moxley's book, and it's good, man. It is fucking awesome. So go over there and check that out. And like I said, if you don't have Audible yet, go over and support Solomonster. Check out his page. Once again over there on Audible. But otherwise, if you want to buy that book, go ahead, support whoever you support. But if you want to go over and look, Solomonster's been doing it forever, and I like Solomonster. I listen to him every week, so got no problem shouting him out and giving him a little bit of a plug on this show. So there you go. So,
Dirk, tell your friends, Monster, that we said nice things about him.
Aw.
Tell him to be a real mensch. Throw some people our way. Why don't you?
I don't know, man. I mean, it's a great way to get a free book. Hey, listen, if you want a free audio book to hear Moxley do it, I mean, trust me, it's worth it. It is worth it. What I got it for, and I really want to hear, just for the Kevin Dunn, I definitely want to hear, because he despises Kevin Dunn, and I can't wait to hear him just trash Kevin Dunn, which I know he does in his book. There's so much stuff I can't wait for him to get into. How long is it? Hold on one second. I got my phone right beside me here. I think it's a 9-hour book. I really do. Hold on a second. John Moxley's book is library. Yeah, you're looking at a 9-hour book, folks. So if you want 9 hours of John Moxley for free, once again, audibletrial.com/Solomonster. Check it out. Bam. All my other books are poker books. Y'all don't want to hear about those.
Well, there you have.
Well, they're online poker books, except for my Mike Sexton book. But most of them are online poker books. I like playing poker online.
I like my poker in the rear.
What? So,
I actually read the book. It's a good book. I haven't read all of it yet. I'm about halfway through. Yeah, there's some pretty good stories in there. The Tournament of Death story is pretty interesting. Or not so much the Tournament of Death story, but like what happens during the days leading up to the Tournament of Death is pretty interesting.
Very nice. All right. That's the is that the CCW tournament, right?
Yeah, it's a CCW tournament.
I thought so. I just wanted to make sure I had the right one in my head. And now that was the one for WWE, was the whole SmackDown lowdown. AEW has a new one that I haven't heard them mention yet, but they have pop this bad boy up here as a trademark. Blood Moon Rising, something to be on the lookout for. A little bolo right there. Be on the lookout for Blood Moon Rising. It says it's for educational and entertainment services, namely a continuing program about wrestling. Accessibility by radio, television, satellite. I'm not sure if they're trying to name a show Blood Moon Rising. Maybe a pay-per-view. I would say a pay-per-view is about to be named Blood Moon Rising. Prepare for it, folks. And know you heard it here first, you son of a bitch. And I mean that with love. Anyway. Okay. Sorry about that. God damn it. I lost Smark again, which means I probably lost internet again. And I did. All right, folks. I'm taking another break. Be right back. Sorry. But I will be right back. All right, take 3 on this one, folks. Sorry about that once again. Goddamn internet here out in the south is not doing good. We're not having a rainstorm, but it's fucking windy out here. And I don't know. I don't know what's causing it, but it's windy. I guess that's what's fucking causing it. Anywho, anyway, as I was saying for that Blood Moon Rising, I think we're going to get a pay-per-view named Blood Moon Rising out of AEW. That's why they trademarked it. That's what I'm expecting is a pay-per-view called Blood Moon Rising. I don't know about you.
Yeah, it sounds like a bit of an echo.
Oh, okay. All right. You good now?
I don't. Okay, yeah, it's cool.
Okay.
I was gonna say, no.
All right. The windy south. That's where I'm at. All right. I think that's about all I really got. Let me see here. We had a couple there, That's it. That's it for my news. And like I said, it's really all we fucking had. We just had a bunch of shit to get into. And I guess we're getting a Dynamite. Now, Smark, we had talked about maybe doing some predictions, but there's still matches going to come out on Friday. I'll see what's happening this weekend. We do have Forbidden Door coming up on Sunday. It starts at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm just wondering, are we looking at another fucking 5-hour pay-per-view from these people? 4.5, 5 hours?
Probably. I mean, that's not the answer you probably want. But I mean, I feel like it'll be a decent length. We're going to see, because I don't know. It seemed like I watched the media scrum that Tony did after Double or Nothing, and it seemed like half the questions were like, why was the pay-per-view so fucking long? So we're going to see if like that actually changes a little bit, if they're going to tweak the timing on that a little bit, or if it's still just going to be the philosophy that Tony Khan has of like, well, you paid a lot of money for it, so we're going to give you a lot, regardless of whether or not you feel like you've been through like an ordeal after you're done watching it.
Yeah. Now, Dirk's asking how many matches we have. I think what's announced? 3-4 matches total. The rest of the, honestly, dude, it's hard to find a website with the card up right now because they're not all announced. So,
all right, let's game of how much can I remember or how much do I remember for Dynamite.
Ooh. There's
the 4-way for the IWGP title.
Okay.
There's the AEW Championship match. There's it's the IWGP tag titles and the Ring of Honor tag titles, I believe.
Okay.
It's FTR, Roppongi Vice, and a team that I cannot remember. That's fun. There's a trios match with Jericho and Kingston and their respective teams. Jericho has Minoru Suzuki and his team. And I want to say Kingston has Utah and somebody else who I cannot remember. That's fun.
Well, you know what?
They have...
Sorry.
Go ahead. And actual information would be more important than me trying to pull things out of my...
No, I was going to say with that trios match, do you think that might be a good time to bring those trios titles out, especially if Jericho Appreciation Society wins?
Well, it's not Jericho Appreciation Society, though. It's Jericho, Minoru Suzuki, and another person.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, probably not a good time. Forget it. I didn't say a word. I didn't mean to cut you off. All right. So that means we get into Dynamite?
Yeah, we can do that. Let's do that.
Brought to you by DraftKings, folks. Dynamite.
Yeah, but
AEW Dynamite draft brought to you by DraftKings was tonight. Started off right away with Bryan Danielson promoting the Forbidden Door. He said he had some good news and some bad news. I got to admit that I didn't quite like when he said that. I got a little worried for a second there because I believe that's how he started the last. When he retired, I think he started it with, I've got some good news and bad news.
right.
So I got a little worried. Basically, the bad news was he's just not cleared to compete right now. He did say he has found a replacement, though. And he'll tell us on Sunday who that replacement is. This is for Blood and Guts. And we got Zack Sabre Jr. showing up tonight. Brought to you by DraftKings.
Mm-hmm. I think in this instance, it's DraftKings.co.uk.
At this point, they need to just bring in Jerry Lawler for DraftKings.
Well, you have to be 18 or older to use the site.
Oh, Dirk is saying Claudio could be the and another guy. Hey, Christopher Kane, what's going on, brother? That's not a bad. It's not a bad guess for who the other could be for JAS, Jericho Appreciation. Maybe. We'll find out. Maybe we could even find out on Rampage for all we know.
Yeah.
So, but I'll tell you, man, Danielson, great fucking promo by him, man. He's on fire, man. He is just on fire lately, as far as I'm concerned. Then we got a little Moxley promo, which I thought this was great too, man. I don't know why, pacing Moxley. I like pacing Moxley. I don't know why. My wife's out there like, why is he pacing? I'm like, I don't know, but for some reason I'm enjoying it. It's calming for some reason. It's like this guy who's talking about, these sadistic things, but he's pacing, so I'm calm with him. I don't know why. I'm as calm as he is.
Right. I think you listening to the audiobook helps him be a little bit more endearing too, because it's hard not to like him after listening or reading that book.
I don't know, man, but I'll tell. But I like I said, definitely go get that fucking book. Any way you get it, because it's a fucking great audiobook. And listen, I'm not one to read, really. So,
since you're listening to the audiobook, because it seems like when I was reading the book, one of the things that I felt like would appeal the most to you, I don't know if it's in the audiobook or not. Does he give recommendations for?
I don't know. Maybe later.
Well, if you're an hour in, I feel like you've at least gotten through a chapter or two. So if not, it seems like it might not be the case in the actual book version.
Well,
he recommends various movies and he talks about why he likes the movies, and I felt like that would have been right up your alley because one of them was Point Blank, and another one was Crimson Tide. I don't know how you feel about that movie.
Oh,
but
good. Point Blank I like too. Point Blank, the one with. Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought you meant Gross Point Blank with John Cusack. You mean Point Blank? I know the one you mean. No, but I also I drove an hour today, but I also had my son in the car because my son had to come to work with me today. So there was a lot of pausing because my 13-year-old had to tell me things that absolutely didn't mean anything to me. So I might get to that in the morning.
Very well.
Okay. I may get to that tomorrow morning when I leave for work. And well, I got to get gas too, so that'll take me more time. But I liked his promo tonight, man. I just, for some, like I said, my wife's like, why is he pacing? He's annoying me. I'm like, that's calming me down a little bit. I don't know. I like it. So there we go. But again, this was all for Forbidden Door. That's coming up because this was the go home Dynamite for Forbidden Door, obviously. We had Roppongi Vice with Orange Cassidy. I think they're also known as Chaos, correct?
They're part of the Chaos faction.
Well,
So it's a stable. It's a lot of different people. But yeah, they're part of that.
I thought everyone was part of chaos. That's why it's
Oh.
chaos. That's why it's chaos, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We had them out there versus United Empire, which is Will Ospreay and a bunch of other guys I don't fucking know.
No, that's kind of what it is. Even I know the stable, and it's Will Ospreay, it's Jeff Cobb, Great O'Con, and then there's just like some random ass like independent talent from like various parts of Europe. It's sort of like his version of the fucking whatever Walter's stable was.
Exact, dude. I swear to God, I was just about to say it's basically Imperium 2.
It is.
It is. That's all it fucking is. I'm totally same page with you right there, man. I feel the exact same way. Orange Cassidy getting a hell of a pop after his return last week. I gotta tell you, man, this was a fun match. But plain and simple, I had fun watching this. I thought it was just a fun match. Orange Cassidy just makes it fun. I'm sorry. Once Orange Cassidy is in a match, you know it's going to be good and fun because it's just the way it is. So, and I mean, obviously with Orange Cassidy making the comeback, he picks up the win. Next thing you know, you got Cobb and Great O'Con walking down there and they join United Empire. And then FTR comes out to even up the odds. And there was basically just a face-off. Nothing really happened. But good stuff, man. Good stuff. And we go from the good stuff to Sanjay Dutt, Jay Lethal, and Satnam Singh. Satnam? Is that his name? Boy, I didn't realize, but he's got that giantism voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big Show had that part taken out of his brain. I don't know if this guy's going to have the same thing, but he's got that and that is the disease. I'm not being, mean or anything. I'm not at all. That's what it's called. But he's got that voice, man. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens with him, but he's a big son of a bitch. This whole thing just seems like a fucking back burner. This whole thing just seems like something that's completely on the back burner, and they're just going to heat it up whenever they just get bored. And this was also brought to you by DraftKings. I don't know. Everything was brought to you by DraftKings tonight, folks.
Yeah, I noticed it a lot more too because I didn't tell you, but I moved out of Canada, so I was watching on TSN this week.
Oh, okay.
I really hope I get to move back to Canada by next week because I fucking on TSN it's less of a bombardment with DraftKings.
I don't know if it would, dude. It was it was on the canvas.
Yes,
It was
I
on the
know.
canvas.
They do that with UFC too, and it's rough.
I mean, I get it, but I don't know. Like I said, this whole little Sanjay Dutt thing just kind of feels like it's a Jay Lethal and Son. It just kind of feels like it's a back burner thing. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not explaining it well, but it just kind of feels like it's something that they're just going to keep on the side, and then they'll see what happens with it. But why do I have this feeling we're never going to actually see an outcome to this? I don't know why, but I do. I just got this feeling it's going to fizzle out and they're going to forget about it.
I think we'll see some kind of a payoff. I mean, it depends on how many people feel the way that you feel about it. That it's sort of an, I guess, afterthought, maybe? I don't know if that's what you're going for.
That would work. That would work.
Sort of secondary, and it doesn't have a lot of heat, and there's not a lot of reason to care about it. Because right now, I'm still committed to like letting it play out before I am too harsh on it. But I honestly couldn't care less about it right now.
See? And I pretty much all the little, kind of points you just hit is kind of the reason I feel it's on the back burner, But I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see what happens with it. I just, for some reason, I got this gut feeling like this is just going to kind of go by the wayside, and we're not going to get anything with this. But I guess we'll see what happens when Joe comes back, and we'll go from there. So Christian was out after that, Smark, and I don't know if it's because the commercial was on earlier, but Christian literally came out dressed like Jeff Goldblum in the apartment commercials.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure what he was going for, but Christian cuts a promo tonight. Now, the part where I gotta say, the part where he was sitting there and talking about you want to get on my pay grade, make a match that's named after a pay-per-view, blah blah blah, be in it, and I'm like, yeah, you and 3 other fucking guys, dumb shit. Actually, I'm sorry, 5 other guys were in that match. Excuse me, it was the Dudley Boys too. So to sit there and make it, I mean, I get it. He was being the conceited asshole, like it was him that did that. But a lot of this promo really just had you going, dude, you're not all that. It's like, I don't know. I think the character he's going for is he's believing that he was a real Hall of Fame signing. That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah, I think so. I thought it was an interesting promo because like it felt like it got better after a while, but at first it seemed like he hadn't cut a promo of that magnitude for a while, and it seemed like he like got his talking points mixed up quite a bit because it seemed like he was talking at like 100 miles an hour and he kept flubbing shit up. Like there was numerous sort of stutters and stalls and stops, and he got like the order of his words wrong a couple of times, which who am I to talk about that, but still.
Well, see, and that was later in the promo, that was later in the promo though. So did it really get better later in the promo?
Okay, I will say that the sort of way that he delivered the promo seemed passionate.
Yes.
So that made it better, but he was fucking up.
He was. And listen, if you're sitting there screaming and yelling and you got passion and you're fucking up, that's totally acceptable to me, because when you're screaming and yelling, and that's what's going to happen. But I just thought it was kind of a weird promo. And I got to tell you something. I know this may seem a little, stop it-ish, but the father stuff, I think, is very low. I don't think it needs. I mean, listen, we all know Jungle Boy's father, Luke Perry, the actor. I think it's easy, and I think it's low, and I don't think it's called for. I don't know why it bothered me. Yeah, I mean, you know me, nothing like that really. It doesn't really bother me. It doesn't upset me, but I got to tell you, this kind of was like, this was so unnecessary, the father stuff. I get it. He's trying to be a dick. He went up to the mother and the sister and he said what he said, but I think this was just cringy. This was cringy to me, the whole father thing, all talking about Luke Perry. I mean, the guy suddenly died out of nowhere, and I don't know. I just thought this was a little cringy to me. Like, that didn't need to happen. I don't know about you, but
Yeah, it didn't really register too much to me. I felt like it kind of seemed like at some point somebody was going to mention it. It's just a matter of time as to when and who. But like Dirk said, he felt like it was a little bit desperate. I guess I could kind of see what you guys are talking about, and I guess sort of to that point, they have history, so you don't really need to do this. You could like play off of the history that they have together. They've been in a stable together for fucking God knows how long at this point, but you have stuff that you can play off of, and I guess I could see the argument that it was sort of just like you're trying to manufacture heat when there's already heat there.
Well, okay. And then right after this, Okay, right after all that shit, you get Luchasaurus coming out finally to kind of, oh, I'm gonna kick your ass. He grabs Christian by the throat, rolls him right back into the turnbuckle, and he's choking him. And Christian is like, "You're like a son to me," and blah blah blah. And Christian goes, "Listen, we need to talk in private." So, but he also gets that grin. So he's about to start doing the same little manipulation thing to Luchasaurus. Why couldn't they just work this angle? Again, why I think it was uncalled for to call for the father stuff. And Dirk even said, well, because Christian's better than that. Maybe. Maybe he is. But I mean, I know he's looking for cheap heat. I get it. Again, I get it. I'm not upset about it. I'm not going to go all Karen on you about it. Oh, fuck. I think my internet might have just gone out again. Yes, it did. So, I'm just going to take one more break, get Smark up here, and then we're going to blow through this. I am so sorry for the internet keep going out, folks. I really am. All right. I'll be right back, folks. All right. So, as I was saying, when you have this whole Luchasaurus storyline already in place, do you really need to just go as low as to talk about his dead father?
No, not really.
Okay, thank you. All right, that was my point, Smark. Sorry about this. Sorry about the internet thing, folks. But yeah, that's all I'm saying. You just don't need the whole thing. And I love that we go back and I went back in the chat, and I see Christopher Kane going. Who did he say? He said we were talking about body shaming and body shapes, and he goes, "Holy crap! Cole, Jay White, and Hangman are tiny."
But on the positive side of things, Okada is taller than he thought he would be.
Okay, he is tall. He is. He is a tall dude.
Yeah, 6'4", maybe 6'5". He's surprisingly tall.
Yeah, he is a pretty tall guy. So, but man, it's and then I like that he's like, "Why is Luchasaurus and Christian hugging? What the fuck?" Christopher Kane's all confused. They did hug because he's going to manipulate him. You see that little smirk on his face. You saw that. So looks like Christopher Kane is actually right around where we're actually talking about, which is perfect. All right. So we don't have that much more here, but after that we had and I might have missed a segment or two, but we had the All Atlantic Tournament match, which was Malachi Black versus Penta Oscuro. I'm sure I butchered that, with Alex Abrahantes. This was a pretty damn good match. I got to be honest. Malachi Black winning. I got to be honest. I didn't take many notes because I was just fucking focused on the match. And Malachi Black picks up the win. We get Pac coming out after it. And then Miro pops up on the screen. I think it's amazing the pop Miro gets. Not even live, but just for being on the screen. And the pop Lana gets for never even walking in that company when he talks about his gorgeous wife. I think it's amazing. I'll be damned. I think my internet just went out again. Fuck. All right. One more break. At this point, I'm not even turning off the music. I'm just letting it go and turning it on when the internet goes out. But anyway, as I was saying, Smark, and we are back live again, I think it's really funny that Miro gets a great pop, number one, but Lana, who's never set foot in that company, when he mentions his gorgeous wife, gets just as big of a pop. Mm-hmm. It's just amazing. First of all, it just lets me know that people are still pervs, and I like it. And Miro is over, and I love that too.
Both of these things.
So there you go. Is that what was playing? Was Living on a Prayer playing? Oh God. I don't know why my internet is doing this tonight. Again, I'm in the South. I don't know. I can't pay y'all city folk prices. That's all I know. I can't pay them city prices, man. But that's it for that. So then we get Adam Cole's Mark. He comes out. He's on commentary. Of course, we've got the Adam Page match here. We got Hangman Adam Page versus Silas Young. I don't know whether to say these guys are making their debut or not because they're ROH guys for ROH, but I like Silas Young. I like his look. I like his style. I just like the guy. I really do. I actually think that would be a good one for them to pick up on the AEW side. I think we all knew Page was winning that match, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we all knew that. I'm not going to sit here and insult anyone's intelligence. As soon as Page wins, Cole jumps up. And we were just about to get story time with Adam Cole. And Jay White comes out. He's like, no, you still can't be my opponent. Basically because you lost. He's like, you lost to that guy twice already, bitch. All right, I added the bitch. Jay goes down. He's walking down, still cutting the promo. He gets in the ring, says something to Page. Page gets pissed at him. He fucking hits him. And next thing you know, Cole's running down. Those three brawl. Next thing you know, we get Okada. Now, I think we all know what's been going on with Okada, correct? And boy, that was a great holy shit chant. And not even, I mean, there were people before that, they were showing in the crowd just mouths agape that Okada, who we were all told there was no way he would be at Forbidden Door. And it looks like he's going to be. So I don't know if shit got worked out. I don't know if he left. I believe he was going to work out the rest of his contract. So this might be part of it. But boy, there's a lot to Okada being there. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty big deal that he's there, of course. Obviously,
Right.
being the former New Japan champion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot to it, man. So, but yeah, like I said, that and Dirk's, that might have been his favorite match of the night. It was a good match, man. It really was. And like I said, I really like Silas Young. I like the character, the last real man. I think that's pretty cool. I like his old school look, and he's got the old school style to go with his old school look. I think if you put him and the Butcher in a match together, we might get like a nostalgia collision, and I don't know, we might go back to the 80s. I don't know if I'd put them in a match. We might stop time or something. I don't know. They're both.
Put him in the tag team. Get rid of Blade. We don't need him around.
Yeah, I'd put those
boring
two.
into-
My God, those two in a tag team would be great. Fucking, they kind of look alike. Are they related?
You know, I don't know. It's possible.
It is possible because really, I'm sitting there and I'm like, my God, those two would make actually an incredible tag team together. They would cause a nostalgia space lapse or some shit like that. But after that, I think there was a segment with Jade Cargill, the baddies and all that. There's a baddies search.
Indeed, yes. Red Velvet is injured. Apparently, she got injured wrestling Chris Statlander. And so they're putting out a baddie search. And the idea is that they want you to tell them why you're a baddie on Twitter. So with under 140 characters or less, and Stokely Hathaway said, please be sure to keep your photos PG.
And then, of course, we get Jade Cargill's catchphrase to Tony Schiavone, which is, Tony, cut the shit.
I gotta say, I did sort of enjoy it because Stokely Hathaway at one point said, drum roll, please. Tony said nothing, and he said, man, I said drum roll, and he made Schiavone do it.
I just think that guy is money. I really do. I think that guy is incredibly talented. A great choice, a great pickup, and you know, like I said, man, we kind of called that they were going to do that. uh, great. It was such a good fit. It was ridiculous not to do. So we get Marina Shafir after that.
And my very first thought before they even announced who her opponent was like, well, whose fault is it going to be this time if the match sucks?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sandbagging. The thing, you know what? I forgot about that. We've believe we actually have a little bit of time. We just had a few full pause tonight. Sandbagging. Thunder Rosa was accused of sandbagging by who was that, Smark?
Just basically a random ass guy on Twitter. He has like a donut shop, but like
Okay.
that's it. Like literally, he's just a random ass dude, and apparently it caused a bit of controversy because some people liked it.
Yeah. Here's the problem. The match before that, Marina Shafir had wasn't great either. So there's a common denominator there, and I don't think it was Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa is not known. Yeah, Tony Storm showing Thunder Rosa now not to sandbag. I don't know about that one. But yeah, a lot of people were saying that Thunder Rosa was sandbagging Marina Shafir. I don't think so. I really don't. I really don't. I think that was such bullshit. And yeah, I think it was funny how a lot of those dirt sheets picked up on that from some random dude. Dirt sheets, stop that shit.
Well, apparently, and like what happened that like kind of caused that to get picked up was that Britt Baker liked it and Marina Shafir liked it. So like they were low key saying that they agreed with this random ass person, basically saying that Thunder Rosa doesn't know how to work.
Oh, all right, whatever. Yeah, the heel. All right. Where were we here? We were back at AEW. Anyway, it was Tony Storm, and Tony Storm did end up winning the match. After the match, she's jumped by Nyla Rose, who was down there at ringside, and Marina, both of them. And Thunder Rosa runs out. Her and Tony clear the ring, but Tony hits. Was it Nyla she hit with the belt?
Yes.
Hits Nyla with the belt. But remember, it's Rosa's belt she hit her with. Remember, so she's got the belt in her hand again. So I guess the storyline is Tony Storm really wants that belt to feel, to touch. Is that what she wants? She just wants to touch it and feel it and hit people with it? I don't know.
Well, they're going to be having a match at Forbidden Door.
I get it, but both times she's just held that belt and like caressed it and looked
She
at
likes
it.
belts. She's a belt person. I have two things real quick. I will say I got to give her credit, and I guess if anybody is qualified to do this, it would be her. But Tony Storm gave the only hip attack that I've seen that actually looked like it hurt, and that I wouldn't have wanted to bet on the receiving end of. Because normally it just looks like somebody just shoves their ass into your face, and it's like, yeah, that's hot, but that doesn't look painful. Like she actually made it look like it hurt, and I don't know if you noticed, and if that's just been her theme or for a long time, or whenever since she's been in AEW, what have you. But did it sound like Tony Storm's theme was like just a rip off of the song Barracuda by Heart? Like it sounded like we got the old WCW engineering involved, where like they just like picked a rip off theme song.
I didn't catch that song.
Yeah, next time she's out there, and I guess if you're going to watch Forbidden Door, pay attention to that, because it sounds like almost like a cover version. It's not. It's different lyrics, but it sounds like somebody's trying to do a version of the song Barracuda by Heart.
Man, I know the song. If you can get that on YouTube, let me know. Let me know. That Dirk agrees with you. I didn't hear it. I got to be honest. I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it. So after that, though, Smark, we had this Darby Allin, and so I'm really trying to get through this while my internet is working. We had this Darby Allin and Sting promo, and I you know, Darby Allin's kind of a mad genius, because I actually thought this was a good promo, because he wasn't just a monotone fucking nothing of just giving this diatribe of bullshit. So him putting just the minimum amount of emotion in a promo now makes me think it's great. Is that mad genius of him or what?
Yes, it is.
It really is. The guy's a fucking mad genius. He should be working with fucking fucking DJ Hyde over there, this mad genius.
It's an interesting strategy.
It really is. You cut these shitty promos, and then if you put a little bit of emotion in it, people are like, wow. Go ahead.
No, that's exactly it. You summed it up perfectly. Just like take 4 losses so that you can win once.
Yeah. I fucking mad genius, this guy. I'm sitting there like, wow. He literally, all he did was change his fucking decibels by a fucking inch, and it looks like he's actually giving a fuck. I don't know. Maybe he looked around at everyone sitting there going, that was the most boring promo I've ever seen in my life, and said, wow, I've got to do something interesting. Damn it. I mean, it was a little Christopher Walken, but it was better.
Ah, now that would be awesome.
All you got, the Christopher Walken.
I don't even care who does it.
The best impersonation of Christopher Walken is done by, what's that? Kevin Pollak. You know who he is?
Yeah, sort of.
He does the best Christopher Walken. He does the best Christopher Walken because he perfectly does the fact that Christopher Walken emphasizes the wrong words at the wrong time in the wrong sentence all the time. But it still comes out great because it's Christopher Walken doing it. So, I don't know. I love Kevin. Kevin Pollak is great, but he does the best Christopher Walken. And if you really want to see the best Christopher Walken, type in Kevin Pollak, Bruce Willis roast. Enjoy yourself and have fun with that. But yeah, it's the guy really. I mean, he literally just added a little bit of emotion, changed his fucking pitch a little bit, and I was like, wow, great promo. Wow, was it?
It was pretty good, honestly.
All right. Well, mad genius Darby Allin. Let's just fucking leave that alone. Anyway,
Of wanting to cover things and promos before while we still have internet access, a return to form. The return of one of my favorite segments is back this week. It appears as though somebody was sucking their own dick tonight.
oh,
And Christopher Kane has decreed that the party responsible is in fact parties, because apparently the Young Bucks were sucking their dicks tonight.
oh, well, the Young Bucks always have a little bit of fucking jizz on their face from doing that. Let's be honest here. I mean, they really fucking have been doing that for a long time. Christopher Kane, why isn't there a Stardom match on the show?
Because New Japan doesn't give a fuck about female wrestling.
Because Tony Khan only bitches about women's wrestling if you tell him that if you told Tony Khan, Christopher Kane, that he didn't have a Stardom match on the show Friday night at Rampage, you would get something. I guarantee it. So you may want to go on Twitter and ask that, which will give you your Stardom match. Yep.
Have Julia versus somebody else, because I can only name one Stardom wrestler.
Go ahead. Tag that little fucking thin-skinned little bitch, Tony Khan, and see if he doesn't fucking cave in. You know he will.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, where were we? Where were we in the middle of something there? Yeah, we were going to the last match, I guess. Which was Jericho. Jericho came out with Sammy and Tay Conti and Archer. Jericho and Archer versus Moxley and Tanahashi. This was another match I didn't even care about notes because the match was just good.
And did they mention why Sammy was out there? I mean, I know they have history together, but I was taking care of dog issues, and
They played the whole thing from last week where he came out as Fuego del Sol. Yeah, they explained that. And I mean, it was the most obvious thing that he was him. But anyway, I actually prefer Sammy going to that way than what they were alluding to with them, but definitely put him back with Jericho because really that's where he fits well. Anyway, this was a great fucking match. Tanahashi got the win for him and Moxley. The best part is just this. There's chaos ensuing after this match, right? You got Moxley and Tanahashi. They're staring each other down after the match goes down. They're just kind of staring at each other, kind of, talking back and forth like, hey, I'm going to kick your ass this Sunday. Oh, really? Oh, really? Eddie Kingston out of nowhere comes out, and he's kicking Sammy Guevara's ass. Next thing you know, you see Yuta come out, Wheeler Yuta. Minoru Suzuki then comes out. And looking, I mean, talk about a BMF walk. Stone Cold could do the BMF walk well. But when Minoru Suzuki comes out and does the BMF walk down to the ring, shit's about to get fucking real. Then next thing you know, the rest of the JAS comes out. It's the usual, Smark is the usual AEW, I guess we could call it the old chaotic clusterfuck ending, because that's kind of what they had. But the funniest part is there's this whole shit going on in the outside the ring. There's all this people beating each other, bodies flying everywhere, and you've got Moxley and Tanahashi still standing in the ring, only looking at each other, not giving a flying fuck what is going on outside the goddamn ring. And honestly, I wish they focused on that a little more, because that's probably going to be one of your main events. So, but they really didn't. A lot of time you were just looking at their feet in the ring. Did you notice that, or was it just me?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, that is the main event because it's going to be for the interim title. So, yeah, put maybe a little bit more emphasis on them.
Yeah, I'm sitting there like, all right, they're focusing on this whole clusterfuck thing, yet the two main guys are in the fucking ring staring at each other, and I see their feet. It's like, great. That's what Dirk says. Even Tanahashi was laughing. I know. I mean, and by the way, I'm sitting there. How old is Tanahashi?
Late 30s, early 40s.
Dude, those motherfuckers. God doesn't age. Guy looks fucking great, man. My wife thought he was fucking 22 years old. She's like, oh my God, look at that guy. He's got a great body. What is he, 22, 23? I'm like,
45.
How much?
45.
45. My God. I'm 46 and I don't look anything like that. Jesus Christ. Jesus, man. Him, and I mean, just, my God, what do they eat over there? I need to figure out what they eat. They don't age.
Gotta avoid a real obvious joke.
Don't do it.
Yeah, I don't want the show going to the dogs.
Yeah, who gives a fuck at this point? But anyway. All right. So, that's really it. That was the go-home show tonight for AEW Dynamite. Going into Forbidden Door. We do have Rampage coming up Friday, which we're probably going to get more matches. I'll tell y'all what, if we end up going live, I don't know, I haven't even discussed this with Smark. I don't know what he's got going on Sunday. He may have something going on. We'll talk about it. If we do, we'll just go on early and do some quick predictions. Otherwise, we'll talk about it Wednesday, so we'll let y'all know. I don't know. Smark, we'll talk about it a little bit later. What else you got, man? Anything?
Yes, actually, and I can't say too much about it because you kind of have to see it. I'll post it for you to check out later. But again, I learned a valuable lesson about optimism and why you should never have it. Because I told you about why I was excited about Vince stepping down and how this was actually going to change the landscape of things, and then sure enough, nothing changed at all. Anyways, over the weekend, I was excited because I mentioned this on the show before. I'm a Jack Evans fan, pretty big Jack Evans fan, and this was going to be like the weekend of Jack Evans on the independent scene, at least, because he was wrestling. They had this match with Ninja Mac. He was making his GCW debut Saturday, and then Sunday he was going to be at Slammiversary. He's going to be competing in the Ultimate X match. So I was like, that's pretty cool, seeing him in the Ultimate X match and all that. And I like Ninja Mac and I like GCW, so I was excited about that too. The Saturday night, he did a corkscrew 630, landed on his head and neck, which I don't advocate often for people to be fired, but the referee saw this, did nothing, and then I don't think he saw it, but Ninja Mac immediately grabbed him by the arm and tried to drag him. That's pretty shitty. And then, of course, they immediately had to just end the match. He just covered him, and that was it, because he couldn't work anymore. And then immediately he was off the Slammiversary, so he didn't do the Ultimate X, and the match that he did Saturday for GCW had to end about midway through because he hurt himself. So again, optimism, don't have it when it comes to wrestling. You'll enjoy wrestling more. But yeah, that referee done fucked up, and I will post it later tonight if you're for those who are on the Wrestling Umbrella group on Facebook.
That's fucking awful, though, man. I listen. I don't need to see anybody get hurt.
It wasn't like brutal. Like, he left on his own accord, but like the referee should have stopped it immediately, and he should not have been dragged by his basically upper body into pinfall position. Whereas it's like, oh dear God, this is terrible. This is like fucking amateur hour. I hate it.
Oh yeah. Well, hopefully he's going to be all right. I guess we'll see what's going to happen with that.
That's another really big thing. Thanks to Christopher Kane for bringing that up. And the Lucha Brothers are not allowed to be at Forbidden Door because they have an agreement in place with AAA, and AAA are not allowing their talent to be on Forbidden Door.
Well, they're forbidden from Forbidden Door.
Yes.
What they did is they grabbed that key from the Young Bucks and they shoved it up their ass with these guys. Anyway, it is interesting. That whole thing with what is it, the AAA CMLL, like you said. I don't know. So no Andrade, no Lucha Brothers. Whatever. We get Phoenix Friday night, though. He did announce he's going to have a match with, who was it?
Andrade.
Yes, you're right.
So I actually will be watching Rampage for a change, so that'll be pretty fun.
I think a lot of people might actually watch for that match.
Yeah, it's going to be a fucking good match.
And here, 2.5. Can we do a quick little thing on the whole thing of Rampage only getting 300 and some thousand viewers?
Yeah.
Can we finally understand the fact that there are more people than ever? Number one, cutting the cord. Number two, those are only people that have Nielsen boxes. And I mean, really, I don't watch AEW on a way that you're going to get in the ratings. You don't watch AEW in a way they're going to get in the ratings. People more than ever are cutting the cord now. I really feel that eventually ratings aren't going to matter because people aren't going to be just touching on Nielsen ratings anymore because Nielsen people watch what the fuck they want to do, what they watch. And a lot of people watch in different ways now. You can watch AEW on Hulu live. You can watch after. You can, and if you get it on Hulu Live, it means you can get it later on Hulu also because you have Hulu Live, which is also in kind of like a DVR. There's so many ways at this point that you can watch shows without being live. And Rampage is on a Friday. They're geared. AEW's audience is geared toward that younger 18 to 49? I don't know if you know this, but some of them go out on Friday nights because the weekend is coming. Did you know that? There you go. See Christopher Kane watching on Hulu Live. Is that going to be counted? Because he's watching late. That's not going to be counted in the fucking ratings, right?
I don't imagine.
I really feel that people that are freaking out and really counting on ratings and ratings and ratings only should probably try to calm down. I mean, if you're really I kind of get with the times and realize that more people than ever have cut that cord. Smark, do you have cable at all?
Nope.
Nope, I don't either. And I know tons of people that don't use cable anymore, streaming services, and what people are doing now is they're getting the absolute lowest cable service they can get, because what you do then is if you have the lowest cable service you can get, all you got to do now is sign up for the apps from that cable service. The apps will show you all the fucking live TV you want. Like I've said before, I watch on the TBS app. I don't have cable. My wife's dad does. He has the absolute lowest because my wife showed him how to go on and use the apps from the TV shows to watch your live shows. That doesn't get counted. He actually used to be a Nielsen guy, which was surprising because he's in such a little rural area. But he had a Nielsen box. He got rid of the box. He got rid of his cable. He found some shitty company. He got their lowest package, which is like fucking like $12.99 a month out there. And apps, dude. It's all about apps now. If you know what the fuck you're doing, but the ratings thing is starting to get out of fucking hand. I saw people trashing. AEW is dead. They're dead. Rampage is going to go away in weeks. Rampage will not be around in 6 weeks, 2 months, 3 months. Let's just stop it with this shit. There's too many ways to watch now to sit there and bitch about fucking ratings. People need to fucking stop already, as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, I'm sorry I kind of took that over. What do you got on that, Smark?
Now, I guess people are just talking about it a lot this week because they're comparing it to SmackDown for whatever reason, which is wrong for any number of reasons. A, because you're talking about cable versus, just regular, like, national television, basic cable. Or, network television is what I was looking for. You're comparing cable to network television.
Right.
Network television is more accessible. Talking about 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern versus, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern issue. And obviously having Vince on SmackDown is going to be a ratings boost for SmackDown when Vince is embroiled in a scandal. It's just the way things work. That's why they did that. But then again, the thing is that, like, you're not comparing, the fans are, but the network is not comparing what Rampage versus SmackDown does.
Right.
They're comparing it to what they normally would have put on a Friday night. How is it doing? And is it cost effective to have Rampage versus whatever program they put on a Friday night?
Right. Right. And I mean, listen, 300 room, that may sound bad to us, but like you're saying, what would the other show they had on a year ago have done? Who knows? We don't know unless you go look that shit up, which I ain't fucking doing that. That's too many fucking words and shit to type on Google. But I don't know, man. I saw a lot of trash. Like I said, the company's dead. They can't even put on an interesting match. I'm sorry, but if they're geared towards a younger audience is not going to be a Nielsen household. It's just not going to be. They're going to be the, like you. No fucking cable, a different way to watch it, no matter what it is. But I mean, if you do have cable, you can just get that absolute lowest package they have and just download the apps. That's what we do. It's fun. The apps are better anyway because you have on demand for all their shows. It's like having a DVR without having a DVR. So, I don't know, man. I really just feel that ratings are starting to get out of hand. People forget that it's only Nielsen boxes, mostly, that do those. I think somehow WWE got the like Hulu ratings to be added into their ratings or something, so they could boost their ratings probably. But I don't know if that's with everybody. What was that?
They're good at doing the Steiner math.
Very good.
Like, here's how we manipulate numbers to make it look like we're more important than we are.
Absolutely. The Officer Steiner math. Uh-huh. Trooper Steiner, actually, because he was pulled over by state troopers. So, all right. I got nothing else. No. All right. We got through that way quicker than I thought we were going to, folks. So, all right. I guess that's it on that note. Well, hell, I guess we can go ahead and get on out of here, which means we knock out the plugs one more time, which means you should be listening to the High Marks. That's right. You know who the High Marks are. It's Chi-Wiz. 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 I mixed that one up right there. Cheeseman Mojo and G-Wiz. That is who it is right there. And you should be listening to them on Mixler.com/MetalMet Podcast Network. And if you're not, you should not be happy with yourself. There you go right there. 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Sundays. Why am I mixing up words right now, Smark? Okay. Take a minute. Take a breath. Okay. And of course, you got Bobby Anthony and Bobby Blades. They are the Inhumans on the Inhuman Experience. That's right. They are on all the usual podcast platforms out there. And while you're on those podcast platforms, check out Eric, Doug, and Daniel over there on the Everything Unscripted Wrestling podcast. That's right, the EUP network over there on Blog Talk Radio. Check them out on all the usual podcast platforms, and obviously Blog Talk Radio, because I just said it. And Stephen Milan over there reviewing movies over there on Letterboxd. That's boxd.com/Stephen Milan, 2 L's in Milan. Check him out over there reviewing movies. And once again, I will be back Saturday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on Mixer.com/Wrestling Outlet. And I'll be reviewing a movie. Probably, maybe an actor, maybe something else. We'll see what happens. Stay tuned. Smart.
You got it. So we'll be reviewing a movie Saturday. We'll be reviewing a pay-per-view Sunday. Subscribe to find out over there. .com/Wrestling Outlet. Or if you got us on the podcatcher, whatever podcast app you use, just vigorously keep slamming the refresh button. That won't really do anything. I just want you to do it. Anyways, Cheese on Sports returns August. In the meantime, what you want to do is you want to listen to Mojo and Dirk's Most Dastardly Show. They'll keep you entertained. They'll hold your hand and guide you through this crazy thing we call a life. And what you also want to do is check out our friends at Planet Raconteur. This is the Planet Raconteur podcast. Bobby and Papa Dave Sincere and Young Nasty. All 16 episodes of season 1, all season 2 episodes. They're new, they're ongoing. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode, because you won't want to miss an episode.
All right. There you go, folks. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for listening. I apologize once again for the internet problems. It's kind of out of my hands, but you lucky downloaders won't even know it happened, hopefully. So there you go. Smart, thank you. And see ya.
Take your drunken ass home. It's alright. If you don't know what to do with yourself, take your drunken ass home. Yeah.